Good morning. How's everybody doing today? Good. Great to see you all here. Thanks for joining us this morning, both here in person and online. With that said, we have a Christmas song to start us off this morning to get going for the Christmas season. So let's stand up and we will start worshiping. Angels we have heard on high, sweetly singing o'er the plains, and the mountains in reply, echo in their joyous strains. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Shepherds, why this jubilee? Why your joyous strains prolong? What the tidings be which inspire your heavenly song? Gloria in excelsis Deo. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Come to Bethlehem and see Christ whose birth the angels sing. Come adore on bended knee Christ the Lord, the newborn King. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Gloria in excelsis Deo. All right. Why don't y'all turn around and greet each other?
All right, well, good morning. We're so glad you guys are here with us. We know it's a crazy time of year and there's a million different things going on, but you took some time to be with us this Sunday, and we are so appreciative of that. If you're new, we're so glad you guys are here with us. Stop by the Welcome Center on the way out. We got a free gift for you just for being here, even if we never see you again, which we hope we do. We're glad you're here with us today. A couple of big announcements. First of all, this Wednesday, Colonial House is a house just down the road that helps out some families and people in need. And so the women's ministry is planning to bring desserts to the residents there on Wednesday at 6:30. If you'd like to join, just go see April down in the lobby and let them know. It would be a great opportunity for us to minister to some people that sometimes get forgotten about in our community. And so you can participate in that. And then also next Sunday is a big one. There's a lot of stuff happening next Sunday. First of all, if you are participating in donating the food bags for residents in our community through the Friskies, the FRCs at Bullitt County Public Schools, those are due next Sunday, the 14th. And so there's several families in our community we try to help out during Thanksgiving and Christmas to make sure they have a good meal to be able to give for their family those days. So those bags are due next Sunday. Also, in the morning service, the kids will be performing, and that is always my favorite because you have no idea what's going to happen. And your child is going to see you, and they're going to start crying. And we have to control the chaos and all that stuff. But it's a great time, and we love having the kids in here. And so that's happening next Sunday. So invite mom, grandma, grandpa, everybody, and all that next Sunday for the kids' performance. And then that night from 5 to 7, we are hosting a Christmas party for you guys. And so this is an opportunity for you to come back up here sometime that night. Bring your family, friends, neighbors, anybody you want. And so we're going to have all kinds of stuff going on that night. You've seen the videos and us talking about it. Come and stay as long or as little as you would like, but we'll be here from 5 to 7. We're having a chili cook-off, which I think we're good on chili, but we're also having a baked goods cook-off because it's the holiday season. If you want to participate in one of those, there is a prize that comes with those. We have an axe trailer outside, a video game trailer. We're going to have family-style games all throughout the building that you can just walk up and play with your family and have a good time, make some memories. There'll be some prizes for the kids for those. We also have Santa and some other characters, and so Santa will be here, and so you can take pictures and do all that stuff if you haven't had a chance to do that. So it's just a good time to get together, a Christmas party for us, for you guys, next Sunday from 5 to 7, and we hope to see you there at some point during that time. And then again, our Christmas Eve services, so Christmas Sunday, the 21st, will be just normal 10. And what time do we do services? 10 and whatever the time the second one starts. And then I'm here, so I don't even remember anymore. And then we will also have Christmas Eve services that Wednesday night, the 24th at 7 and 9. Bring the kids in their pajamas, whatever they want. There'll be a Christmas party for them in the back. Or you can have them in here. It will be a shorter service, but a time for us to get together, sing some songs, hear a message before we go into the craziness of Christmas Day. So lots of stuff coming up. So we are in a series talking about Advent. We opened it up last week and talked about these ideas that come with this Advent season. Advent is a Latin word. It means waiting. It's kind of preparing ourselves for Christmas as the people had prepared themselves, waiting for the Messiah to come into the world. And each Sunday in an Advent liturgical calendar, there is a specific word that we focus on. So last week was hope, and this week we're going to shift to the next word that we'll talk about here in a second. But before we start, I want to read kind of the most famous part of the Christmas story that most of us have heard. It takes place in Luke chapter 2, and here's what it says. While they were there, the time came for the baby to be born. And this is about Mary and Joseph. And she gave birth to her firstborn son, and she wrapped him in cloths and placed him in a manger because there was no guest room available for them. And there were shepherds living out in the fields nearby, keeping watch over their flocks at night. An angel of the Lord appeared to them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were terrified. And we'll talk more about that later. But the angel said to them, "Do not be afraid. I bring you good news that will cause great joy for all the people." Now, this first kind of announcement that we see about the Messiah, it sounds amazing. Good news of great joy for all people. It kind of sounds like a huge announcement, this cosmic, world-changing kind of announcement. But even though we know that story, we've seen that story, we've read that story, we've watched Charlie Brown Christmas, we know what Linus does, we've seen all of this. And yet, if we're honest, for a lot of us, December doesn't exactly feel like peace on earth, goodwill towards men in 2025. It feels more like racing schedules, crowded stores, family tension, financial pressures, and all of the other stuff that's been adding up and building up over this year. News lines that still make your stomach drop. And honestly, if you're real honest, sometimes this season can be overwhelming. And some of us, it's not even about the season. It's about the season of life that we're in. And it becomes overwhelming. One of the things that I've noticed just moving from conversation to conversation with people is this. No matter how much peace you think exists around you, and sometimes it doesn't feel like there's very much, the most difficult, elusive thing for some of us is to find peace within us. You can live in a fairly safe neighborhood, have a pretty stable job, drive a reliable car, have a family that looks fine from the outside, and still lie awake at night with mind-racing thoughts and pressures and all of these things. You can be surrounded by things that look peaceful and still feel like there's a war going on inside of you. I can't tell you how many people over the years I've talked to say things like, "I feel anxious all the time. I keep having panic attacks and I don't know why. I feel this constant sense of dread." I talked to a person recently and they literally said this to me. He said, "I feel so stressed sometimes it's hard to breathe. I don't even know what's wrong. I just don't feel okay." And some of us, when I say those words, you know what I'm talking about. You're carrying some of that right now. And here's what we've gotten good at. We know how to function. We know how to show up. You know how to smile when you're supposed to. When you see somebody at church, you're like, oh, I'm good, okay? But if we could see below the surface, there's turmoil inside some of us. Some of us are carrying anger that we've never dealt with. We're carrying shame we've never told anyone about. We're carrying grief from people that we've lost that never got space to heal. Some of us are carrying exhaustion that no amount of sleep or rest seems to fix. In Advent, this season leading up to Christmas, it's not just about candles and carols. It's about this honest tension that's within all of us. We are still waiting for peace. We are living in a world and in a body that doesn't always feel peaceful. This is the season of light, but yet we still feel like we're walking in darkness. And into that world, into our world, God steps in. And the scriptures make this wild claim that when God stepped into human history through Jesus, he did it with a very specific idea and mission, and that was to bring peace. Not a Christmas card kind of peace, not just a silent night, all is calm kind of peace. A deep, soul-level, humanity-wide, history-shifting peace. And I think if there's any word we've misunderstood, probably in the human language, it's the word peace. We tend to think of peace as no conflict, no tension, no problems, no discomfort. But somewhere along the way, humanity, us, didn't just lose peace, we fell to pieces. And centuries before Jesus is ever announced or shows up in Bethlehem, we see this prophet Isaiah coming and describing with stunning clarity kind of what Jesus is going to do and what the world needs. And here's what it says in Isaiah chapter 9, verses 6 through 7. For to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government will be on his shoulders, and he will be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. Of the greatness of his government and peace, there will be no end. Isaiah kind of piles up these names that's going to describe Jesus. So Wonderful Counselor, this idea that he understands and he can guide us. This mighty God, he's not just kind, he's actually powerful. He's the Everlasting Father, which is he is faithful, steady, and never leaving. And then he wraps up by saying the Prince of Peace. And there is this specific part of this text where he says, of his greatness of government and peace, there will be no end. And if you read that, thinking about the world that we live in, the temptation is to say, God, I believe you, but when is that going to start? Because from where I'm standing, peace looks pretty limited. 2,000 years after the birth of Jesus, the world still looks a lot like conflict. Wars and rumors of wars, violence that fills the headlines, genocide, injustice, political chaos, families still splitting, friendships still ending, churches still fractured. And so the question becomes, where is this endless peace that was promised? I think part of the problem is we focus on that word government, and we miss the kind of government that Jesus came to bring. There is an assumption that Jesus came to take over nations. We assume he came to run empires. We assume he came to use political power. But here's what you need to know. Jesus never intended to overthrow Rome in his lifetime. He never meant to sit on Caesar's throne. He never led an army or passed the law. That was never the plan. The kind of kingdom Jesus talks about is very different. He came to establish a different kind of government, not in a capital city, not on a political map, but in the human heart. His government that he speaks of starts in you. Because the reality is there will never be peace in this world if there is not first peace within us. We keep trying to fix the world from the outside in, and Jesus came to fix the world from the inside out. The world that Jesus steps into is a world that was filled with empires. The Egyptians, the Babylonians, the Persians, the Greeks, and then the Romans. And these empires, here's what they would do. They created systems that crushed the poor, elevated the powerful, devalued the ordinary, treated leaders like gods, leaders who worked only for themselves and their own legacies, ignored the hungry and the broken, ignored the people that they were meant to serve, and they created systems of violence, injustice, and darkness. Imagine a world like that if you can. And Jesus steps right into this context and said, I'm bringing a kingdom of peace that no one can stop. Not by taking over thrones, but by taking over hearts. The reality is every war that takes place in this world, that takes place out there, is rooted in here. The war between nations is the overflow of the war going on inside the human soul. Our human hearts rage with fear, pride, envy, greed, insecurity, the need to be right, the need to be desired above someone else. And Advent says God did not ignore that rage, but he walked straight into it. Jesus has a cousin, John the Baptist, that was come to prepare the way for Jesus before he starts his ministry. And there's some things that we learn about John the Baptist. And here's one of them in Luke chapter 1, verses 76 through 79. It says this, "You will go before the Lord to prepare the way for him, to give his people the knowledge of salvation through the forgiveness of their sins, because of the tender mercy of our God, by which the rising sun will come to us from heaven, to shine on those living in darkness and in the shadow of death." And here's the line, "to guide our feet into a path of peace." It's very important for us to remember that peace is a path. It is not instant. It is not magic. It is not I prayed one time and then everything was fine. It's a path. It's a way of life with Jesus. And the tragedy that some of us face is the closest we've come to peace is just to numb everything else out. If I stay busy enough, then I won't feel all of the tension. If I scroll enough, then maybe I won't have to think about the tension in my life. If I drink enough or put something in my body, I won't have to remember it. Or if I stay in bed and just don't leave, maybe I won't have to deal with it. But numbness is not peace. Avoidance is not peace. And distraction is not peace. And our anxiety, our fears, our shame, and our guilt, that's not the heart. That's not the life that God had or wanted for you. That's not why the Prince of Peace came to give you. Luke chapter 2, verses 13 through 14, it says this, "Suddenly a great company of heavenly hosts appeared with the angel, praising God and saying, 'Glory to God in the highest heaven, and on earth peace to those whom his favor rests.'" Why is peace on earth so important? And the reality is, it's because our brokenness matters to God, our violence breaks his heart, and our division grieves him. We are, as humans, not just back then, but even today, a people of war. We war between nations, we war in homes, we war in marriages, we war in friendships, we war in churches, we war in politics, we war in our comment sections, and we war within our own heads and our own hearts. The amazing things about human beings is we find new ways to hurt each other every single generation. And yet the angels still declare peace on earth. Not because we've earned it, not because we've behaved well, but because God is full of mercy. And according to this text, if you pay attention, there's only one way to know if favor is resting on you from God. It's not your bank account. It's not how many followers you have, and it's not how put together your life looks. The way you know you have favor in God's eyes is through the middle of the chaos, you have learned to live with peace. Now, an important thing that I think is we have to discuss is this idea of peace. And I want to press a little bit deeper for us in this room and for me. See, I think part of the problem is we want God to give us our inner peace, but we also refuse to lay down our weapons. We want calm hearts, and yet we still keep firing shots at each other. We want quiet souls while we're stirring up noise in our world and in our relationship with our words. We want peace within us while we remain divisive and hateful and judgmental with the people around us. And the reality is, peace doesn't work that way. You cannot live at war with people and expect to live in peace in your soul. Some of us are asking God for peace, and at the same time, we're tearing down other people with our words. We're gossiping about each other behind closed doors. We're posting passive-aggressive stuff online. We're assuming the worst about people we've never even had conversations with. We're writing off people because they don't vote like us, think like us, worship like us, or parent like us. We bless God with our mouths on Sundays, and then we curse the same people made in his image on Monday. And some of you don't even wait till Monday. You'll do it in about an hour, right? And then we sit back and we wonder, ready? Why don't I feel peace? The reality is you are either building peace or you are breaking it. Your attitude is either joining Jesus' kingdom or it's resisting it. Some of us don't have peace because we refuse to walk in peace with others. We're still holding on to grudges like trophies. We're still rehearsing old hurts. We're still replaying conversations. We're rehearsing comebacks we wish we had said. Isn't that the worst when you're in an argument with somebody and you finish it and like 10 minutes later you're like, oh, I should have said this, right? But we do that. We're nursing bitterness like it's somehow helping us. Jesus made this statement. He said, blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Blessed are the peacemakers. Peacemakers who are people who are willing to step into the tension of life and in this world and in relationships with love and humility and mercy. They don't avoid it. They step into it, but with a certain attitude. You cannot keep attacking people with your words and then ask God, why don't I feel peace in my life? You can't keep talking about people instead of talking to people and then wonder why your heart feels heavy. You cannot stay busy sharpening your opinions and never soften your heart and think that somehow inner peace will grow within you. For some of us, the biggest barrier to inner peace isn't our circumstances, it's our hearts. Hearts that are filled with judgment, hearts that are filled with comparison, hearts that are filled with contempt. And Jesus is trying to lead us into a different way. Remember, it's a path. He doesn't just calm your anxiety. He starts to dismantle your hostility. He starts to deal with the part of you that's always had to be right, the part of you that's always had to have a comeback, the part of you that enjoys hearing that someone else failed because it makes you feel better about yourself. This isn't a try harder, be nicer kind of talk. This is about recognizing that peace within us and peace between us are connected. If I'm not at peace with God, it's hard to be at peace with others. But if I'm not at peace with others, it's hard to be at peace with God. And then it's hard to be at peace with yourself. Scripture says this, if it is possible, as far as it depends on you, live at peace with everyone. Don't you hate that Bible verse? As far as it depends on you. And here's what I'll go and tell you. I'll just be honest. Sometimes I don't try very hard. Right? But as far as it depends on me, and as far as it depends on you, try to live at peace with everyone. That doesn't mean everyone will respond well. It doesn't mean every relationship will be restored. But it does ask you and I to have some responsibility in this. Here are some questions maybe that you can ask. They should come up on the screen. What or who am I at war with? Who am I talking about instead of talking to? Who do I need to forgive? Where do I need to repent for the way I've spoken, posted, or reacted? And some of you, you don't like those questions. And good news is I don't like them either. But for some of us, until we get honest about answering some of those things, peace within us, peace between others, and possibly, yes, peace between you and God is going to be almost impossible. You cannot pray, Lord, give me peace, and then leave here and set relational fires everywhere that you go. But Advent is a time, again, to stop, to pause, to reflect, even in the waiting. And not just to receive peace, but maybe for some of us to repent in the ways that we've broken it. To say, Lord, I want your peace in me, but I'm also willing to let you change how I treat the people around me. And God, I realize that for me to have peace, I need to start creating more peace. Let's go back to John 14:27. Jesus says this, Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not be afraid. I love this verse because it recognizes a couple things that Jesus knew. The world's version of peace is always fragile. It depends on how everything is going the way you want it to go. Because when everything's going the way you want it to go, it's easy to have peace. Let me ask you a question. Ready? How many times in your life has everything gone the way you wanted it to go? Anybody? It depends on people treating you exactly how you want to be treated. It depends on having enough money, enough comfort, enough control. And yet Jesus' peace that he offers is different. It's not an absence of trouble. It's his presence in the middle of it. And he goes straight after the two thieves of peace. Do you know what the two thieves of peace are? Worry and fear. Some of us are living with constantly troubled hearts, worried all the time. Things replay in our head like, what if the worst thing happens? What if I can't hold this together? What if I fail? What if they leave? What if I don't measure up? And so much of what we worry about that robs us of peace is outside of our control. For some of us, we're trying to carry things you were never designed or created to try to carry. For some of us, it's the realization that you've stepped into a role that only God can fill. And Jesus says, stop letting your hearts be troubled and hand them to me. And then he says, do not be afraid, because he knows that worry and fear go hand in hand. And here's what he says. Some of us, we're not just worried, we're afraid. We're afraid to trust again. We're afraid to hope again. We're afraid to love again. We're afraid to step into what God is calling us to do because sometimes it just seems too hard. And fear and worry are travel companions. Where one goes, the almost always the other one tags along. And Jesus' invitation to peace is to stop trying to be the king of your own life. Stop trying to carry things you weren't meant to carry. John 16:33 says this, I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart, for I have overcome the world. Now, the reason I love this verse, and we talk about this verse a lot, is because I love the brutal honesty of Jesus. Some of us grew up in systems where we were taught if we followed Jesus, everything was going to get better. And Jesus is very honest. He says, in this world you will have trouble. Not might, not possibly, you will. And do you know why Jesus could say this with 100% certainty? Do you know why he could say this? Is because he knew that the human heart is troubled. And we're not just talking about human hearts from 2,000 years ago. We're talking about the human heart that's right here and the human heart that's in every single one of you. We are not just victims of a broken world. We are contributors to it. We can cause some of the trouble that we actually like to complain about. We add to the noise that we say we hate. All of us in this room have been guilty of participating in the division that we say we're sick of. And the reason there's so much trouble in the world is because there's so much trouble sometimes within us. And my temptation, and maybe your temptation, is to keep asking Jesus to fix the world. Fix them. Fix that system. Fix those people. And you know what Jesus says? I want to fix the world. But I'm going to start within you. Because if he doesn't start within you, it doesn't start within me, it doesn't start in the human heart, then nothing really ever changes. And he says, listen, take heart, for I have overcome the world. And we love that line because we want to see Jesus establish a kingdom of peace. We want world peace. We want the world to be better, not just for ourselves, but for our kids and our kids' kids. But what if that part of that line, when he says, I have overcome the world, means that first he has to overcome the world in you and in me. He has to overcome the fear in you. He has to overcome the shame in you. He has to overcome the bitterness in you. He has to overcome the pride in you. He has to overcome the hate in you. What if the first world that Jesus wants to overcome is the world that rages inside each and every single one of our chests and our heads? And so the Prince of Peace steps into the world. But here's where the story gets wild if you don't know. And if you don't know this part, you can come back at Easter and we'll talk about it. The Prince of Peace steps into the world, and then we kill him. The Prince of Peace stepped into human history, and then he dies at the hands of human violence. We nailed him to a cross. The path of peace ran straight through suffering. It wasn't the people 2,000 years ago. It was us. It was humanity. Our rage, our fear, our sin, our brokenness, our hatred, our division all crashed down on him. And so the Prince of Peace dies at the hands of our violence and brokenness. His followers abandon him, and he's left there. And for 3 days, it was quiet. In John chapter 20, it says that the disciples are locked in a room. They're terrified, they're confused, they're ashamed, and they're grieving. Everything feels over. They have abandoned the person that they said they loved and cared about, but when it came to their reputation versus his, they left. And now there's rumors that Jesus is back. And they're scared. And Jesus walks right into that locked room, which, by the way, listen, you can lock all the doors in your life, and that still won't shut him out. So imagine all the tension, the fear, the worry, the concern, the unsettledness after everything that's happened. And Jesus steps into that room after suffering at the hands of human violence, after knowing those who were supposed to support him and be closest to him have abandoned him. And do you know what Jesus' first words are? But before they come up, I'll go ahead and tell you, these wouldn't be my first words, and that's why Jesus is way better than me. Jesus looks at these men, and here's what he says. Peace be with you. Not where were you when I needed you? Not you failed me? Not let's sit down and have a performance review? Peace be with you. The one we killed with our violence stands in front of them and offers peace. He shows them his hands and his signs, the signs of our violence, and he speaks peace anyway. Because he knew how badly they needed it, and he knows how badly we need it. And then he says to these guys, as the Father has sent me, I am sending you. To do what? To be people of peace. To carry peace into anxious rooms. To carry peace into divided spaces. To carry peace into families and friends and friendships and churches that are on the edge. To be people who know the Prince of Peace so deeply that it changes how we talk, how we post, how we disagree, and how we forgive. He came to establish his government in you and in me, a kingdom of peace from the inside out. The kind of peace that does not change, that kind of peace does not change things, because once you start living out his peace, you ready? You're going to hate this. When you start living out his peace, you don't have to win every argument. You don't have to have the last word. You don't have to tear someone else down to feel okay. You don't have to cling to bitterness to feel in control. When you walk in his peace, you can let go, you can forgive, you can bless, you can love, and you can breathe. There are some of us in this moment that are so overwhelmed by life. You're carrying worry and fear and shame and guilt. You're carrying anger and hurt and disappointment. And on the outside, you're functioning. But on the inside, you feel in pieces. And I think that Jesus, just like those guys that he walked into that room, wants to speak peace over you. That's why he came. Emmanuel, God with us. Emmanuel, God with you. He wants to bring you the peace you've longed for but haven't been able to manufacture. He wants to calm the war inside of you. He wants to deal with the bitterness you've held on to for years. He wants to quiet the lies that say you're not enough. He wants to heal the places that have been torn by division. And he doesn't just want to give you a feeling of peace for a few minutes in the service. He wants to be the Prince of Peace in your life and put you on a path of peace. A life where his Spirit keeps shaping you, keeps softening your heart. My microphone just died. Keeps teaching you how to forgive. Keeps empowering you to be a peacemaker in a world that loves to fight. So maybe for you today, peace looks like this. Laying your worries at his feet and saying, I can't carry this anymore. Releasing a person you've been holding in judgment. Deciding to stop talking about someone and actually go talk to them. Letting go of the need to be right all the time.
just wanna sit here at your feet. I'm caught up in this holy moment. I never want to leave. I'm not here for blessings. Jesus, you don't owe me anything more than anything that you can do. I just want you. I'm sorry when I've just gone through the motions. I'm sorry when I just sang another song. Take me back to where we started. I open up my heart to you. I'm sorry when I've come with my agenda. I'm sorry when I forgot that you're enough. Take me back to where we started. I open up my heart to you. I'm caught up in your presence. I just wanna sit here at your feet. I'm caught up in this holy moment. I never wanna leave. I'm not here for blessings. Jesus, you don't owe me anything more than anything that you can do. I just want you. I just want you. Nothing else. Nothing else. Nothing else will do. I just want you. Nothing else. Nothing else. Nothing else will do. I just want you. Nothing else. Nothing else. Nothing else will do. I just want you. Nothing else. Nothing else. Nothing else will do. I'm caught up in your presence. I just wanna sit here at your feet. I'm caught up in this whole moment. Never wanna leave. You are here,
touching every heart. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, healing every heart. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, turning lives around. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, mending every heart. I worship you. I worship you, Lord. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. Oh, that is who you are. That is who you are. That is who you are. Oh, that is who you are. 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 Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop, you never stop working. You never stop, you never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop, you never stop working. You never stop, you never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop, you never stop working. You never stop, you never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop, you never stop working. You never stop, you never stop. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness, my God, that is who you are. Oh, that is who you are. That is who you are. That is who you are. Oh, that is who you are. That is who you are. That is who you are. Oh, that is who you are. That is who you are. I searched the world, but it couldn't fill me. Man's empty praise, treasures that fade are never enough. You came along and put me back together. And every desire is now satisfied. There's nothing better than you, Lord. There's nothing. Nothing is better than you. And I'm not afraid to show you my weakness, failures and flaws. Lord, you've seen them all, and you still call me friend. 'Cause the God of the mountain is the God of the valley. There's not a place your mercy and grace won't find me again. Oh, there's nothing better than you. There's nothing better than you, Lord. There's nothing. Nothing is better than you. Let's sing it again. Oh, there's nothing better than you, Lord. There's nothing. Nothing than you, Lord. There's nothing. Nothing is better than you. You turn mourning to dancing. You give beauty for ashes. You turn shame into glory. You're the only one who can. You turn mourning to dancing. You give beauty for ashes. You turn shame into glory. You're the only one who can. You turn graves into gardens. You turn bones into armies. You turn seas into highways. You're the only one who can. You're the only one who can. You're the only one who can. Oh, there's nothing better than you. There's nothing better than you, Lord. There's nothing. Nothing is better than you. Oh, there's nothing better than you, Lord. There's nothing better than you, Lord. There's nothing. Nothing is better than you. Thank you all so much for worshiping with us this morning. It has been a blast to lead you all in worship. And this has just been a wonderful moment for me as well. It's been great worshiping. So hopefully you all have a great rest of the week, and we will see you all next Sunday. Have a great one. It is we were actually B flat, but I use a capo 3, which puts